Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining me. I hope you're enjoying the sun here while it lasts before the tail end of this nor'easter comes through. I just wanted to take a couple minutes today to share with you part of my story and how I came to the point of starting my own business. So, I grew up local, and I have always enjoyed the small town life and a lot of the things that the community has to offer, and just that sort of the feeling that everybody is kind of pulling for each other. That was something I've always really loved growing up here. So that's something that has really carried through with me into my adulthood as well. And so I graduated high school, went to college. To be honest, I just kind of wanted to get through college and get into the real world and into life. And so I did that and started working, and I worked a bunch of different places because I just kept getting laid off. It was a weird point in the economy, and when things get down in a business, unfortunately, marketing's typically one of the first things to go. And I then got caught in the cycle of, first to be hired, first to get laid off, and it just kind of became this vicious cycle. So I decided at one point that I had enough of being laid off, and I was kind of going to switch things up. So I found myself in the volunteer services department at a hospice. And there was a lot of similarities between what I had been doing before as far as recruiting and training and mentoring and event planning and things like that, but it just was something a little more stable. And that career lasted for quite a while, and there was a lot of great things, and I learned awesome things and met great people, but I just really got burnout on it because I am not one of the people who ever intended to be in hospice in the first place, let alone for a really long time. So I struck out and decided I was going to figure out something else. And during that time, I just kind of had a little bit of a career crisis, and I was sort of floundering with what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be and what I wanted my future to look like. And during this time, I had been doing some things for some friends mostly, as far as websites and newsletters and things like that. And I had also been really talking a lot with a friend who already had a marketing business of her own. And she just kept encouraging me, man, she's like, you should do what I do. She's like, you should really do what I do because you would be great at it. And I, hemmed and hawed and beat around the bush and found all the reasons why that wasn't a good idea. But then after a certain point, as I really started thinking about it, I said, you know what? This might be my way to give back to the community and help all of those organizations that I love so much without actually starting my own nonprofit, because it still wasn't coming together. So I decided to start Rachel Stebbins Consulting to focus, again, mainly on small businesses, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, startups, things like that. Those people who really just, they need help, but they can't go out and afford to get the big organizations or have somebody hired on, to sit in the office full time doing things. And so that really has satisfied the desire in me to help, because I feel that when I'm helping a nonprofit or I'm helping a startup, I'm doing all those great things that I love, and I'm truly giving back to people with the skills and abilities I have, and therefore helping the people that they serve, but with the end product. So that's my story. That's how I sort of started and everything. And I tell you this because everybody watching this, everybody working, everyone owning a business, managing a business, you have a reason why you're there, and you have your own story, and it is unique to you. And so my challenge to you today is to share your story. Share it with your customers. Share it with fellow business persons. Share it with anybody who will listen, because it really makes you unique and goes back to the core of why you're doing what you're doing. It can help you with branding. It can help you with networking. And in a lot of ways, it's just really interesting, because I have had a great time, especially this week, meeting new people, talking with them, hearing their stories, and it has just been really inspiring to me. And I feel that it would be very inspiring to you as well. So while you're snowed in here, maybe tomorrow or at least tonight, start working on your story. Think about what it is. Think about why you're where you are in your career, and maybe even your future and where you want to go. But figure out that story and don't be afraid to share it. And especially share it with me because I would love to hear it. So hopefully I'll be hearing more of your stories soon.